Hey guys, this is Rhinne. I'm the rank 1 player for North America, and this is going to be a gameplay analysis for how to play Dragonite. So if you guys like this kind of content, like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, and let's go ahead and get started. So this is just like a VOD that was ripped from my stream, so we'll just talk about it. As you can see, we're skipping the first 3 APOMs, it's just because it's a comp game and we wanted to get to the middle Dino faster. So in the early game, I look to trade with auto attacks. As you can see here, I like to rely a lot on the healing just to keep myself topped off from my boosted auto attack. When I play aggressively and force them out, we notice that the enemy is playing a weaker bot lane. They're playing the Blissey instead of like a standard defender. So we want to try and be more aggro against them. So we're looking for extra poke here. I trust my team to go do whatever, secure, blah, blah, blah. They don't end up securing, but it doesn't really matter because we end up getting the kill. And so at this point, we're looking to try and zone off the enemy. As you can see, I stand in front of the APOM because I know they have an Eldegoss and he's going to be able to leafage the APOM. Or Audino or ICQ, whatever. I'm going to call it APOM a lot. Just ignore me, I guess. So I tried to clear this right before bees. Probably a slight mistake because now they have access to bees, but oh well. At this point, we're much stronger than the enemy is. We're just going to continue to look to play aggressively. Once again, they have a weaker bot lane, so we're going to look to bully them. And now I've just hit level 5 on the Dragonair, so I know I'm extremely strong at this point. I can just start A-clicking them. I can do a lot of damage. I have a lot of sustain too with my boosted auto attack. And then on top of that, we have Pollen Puff, so we're just going to look to harass them. You can see the enemy Dragonair comes, but we're so far snowballed at this point that we can just go ahead and continue to press A. And then we just look to secure our dinos while constantly applying pressure on them. So once again, we're just taking advantage of the fact that they picked a weaker bot lane with the Blissey, and we're looking to poke them out. You can see here, I use my aggression with my auto attacks to try and keep them at bay. Didn't end up getting the secure on that, but it's not too big of a deal. We still have like 4 Aldinos left to secure. And now we wait for them to overextend. Look for a potential kill here. I don't think we actually get this, yeah. And then right here, you can see like the insane sustain that Dragonair has in lane. Like I'm doing a lot of damage to them. Even under their tower, I'm chunking them out. This whole time I'm diving their tower and I'm still pretty much full health because my blue auto attacks. You see that? I'm healing 200 every single time I use my boosted auto. Look at this. I can just dive in 1v3 and I don't even care. For early game is so insane, especially if you can get snowballed. So we're just looking to secure bees at this point. Nothing really too major going on. The jungler's coming down, but he's not quite level 8, so it's not too big of a deal. And at this point, we're ahead topside. He gets his ult, so we're looking to unite and just run them down. So now we just secure the dreadnaw. And then my thought process at this point is, I'm Dragonair. I probably want to stay bot because I can bully anyone who's going to be in this lane. So I tell my Lucario to end up going topside, and then I just stay bot to secure. Hyper Beam's a very, very strong secure. So you can pretty much contest anyone with secure. And then on top of that, because your Unite move has such a low cooldown, if you ult on top of yourself, you'll see me using that constantly in order to dive towers. Here I'm 2v1 and I'm not even scared. Like, yeah, they're both supports, but even if they had an attacker here, I wouldn't be scared. I'd just be playing aggro and in their face until an Audino spawns. Here, I just want to pressure them a little bit just to make sure one of them ends up staying in lane or feels scared to go collapse on my top side, even though we have an Audino up. And then at this point, we know that it's just the Blissey solo, so I start playing aggro in his face because I'm very strong. I have a lot of sustain. We have, once again, the blue auto attacks that do a lot. We have a lot of damage. Hyper Beam will do like 40% of her health or something if it's fully stacked. It's pretty insane. They're just leaving me uncontested here. So as you can notice, I'm just looking to get more farm at this point. I know that we don't really have to do too much. We know that we're just waiting for the Dreadnought. It's going to spawn in like 40 seconds or so. So that's pretty much our goal right now. We just want to stay bot, accumulate as much farm as possible. We know that we're solid on the top side. We just snowballed from the Dreadnought, and so our game plan is just to farm up and be secure right now. So at this point, I want to break this because we've farmed up pretty much all the Aldinos we need, and then Dreadnought is going to be up soon. And then on top of this, I can start playing on their side, knowing that they can't really do anything about it. Unfortunately, this game, I wasn't really able to showcase the fact that I can just like ult someone who's under their tower and just play hyper aggressive into them, regardless of who it is. It could be something like even like a Lucario, and I can do that. And I can just play in their face and like chunk them for like half their things and force them to back off. But Oh well. We can showcase how we play out team fights here. So I'm trying to poke them out, do damage. I know that they pop buddy barriers and all that stuff. I want to just try and do as much damage as possible. You can see I end up ulting. I actually wanted to do a melee ult there, but I ended up doing a long range ult because garbage mechanics of a game, but it won't. Get a nice hyper beam off, and then we're just continuing to kite. Our goal right now is the dreadnaw, so we don't have to dive them. I'm just staying up here so I can zone them. And then we just get out of there. We go retreat back to the dreadnaw. We get the dreadnaw, maybe look to turn. Or chill. We can go look on them again. Looks like they're playing aggressively. So as you can see in these fights, I'm looking to just stay back, stack up my dragon dances, try to get towards my hyper beam, looking to hyper beam them down for some poke, and then moving back. I'm not looking to like hard dive into them. There's no reason for me to do that. We're in a position where bot lane is broken, so I don't really get to farm the Aldinos here. So I can do two things. I can either go top for the Rotom, or I can stay bot and protect it. We obviously see two people bot, so I continue, or I go back to protect my goal rather than going for a dunk on their side. But if we didn't notice those people bot, instead of going back and like playing passively, we could have went up here, we could have pressured this point, and then we could have stolen some Aldinos, maybe look to take their jungle, position aggressively to find out their positions, those kinds of things. I think I'd die here. Unlucky. So we're dead. We're going to come back. We know Dreadnaw is spawning soon, so I'm probably going to move back to that bot side once again. It's going to be up in like 30 seconds. There's not really too much to farm on the map at this point. There's not really too much to do either. We have a lot of their goals broken. So the only concern of mine at this point in the game is, do I want to do Dreadnaw? And if I do want to do Dreadnaw, does it put me in a bad position for when they're going to try and coin flip Zapdos? The only chance they have to win this game is a coin flip on Zapdos because we ended up scoring 100 in their base beforehand. So honestly, I think doing this Dreadnaw is actually a mistake. I don't think I should be here. I ended up killing it with like 10 seconds left, but I think just taking like mid positioning and then just sitting there and making sure that they couldn't get in to be able to coin flip is the better play. So I think this is actually a mistake I make. It's interesting to note that even players like me make mistakes. Go figure. So I just look for a back cap here because I want to get my ult back. The back cap. And then one thing you can see here that I do is I just use my ult to escape. I use it for the unstoppable and I use it for the buddy bear and I just get out of there. It doesn't really matter if I drop it like that because it's a very low cooldown. So I'm perfectly content with this. And then you can see me playing somewhat passively. Serena does beat me in a 1v1. She's a very strong 1v1 character. But my goal here isn't to 1v1 her, it's to stall her for as long as possible to make sure top can do their thing. And because we're so far ahead, they should be able to. So I'm just farming this crab, and then I'm going to farm the other crab to get my ult back so I can ult into any fight. And then we're going to look to probably play aggressively on their side of the map. So right now, we chunked them out pretty hard, so I feel like diving in. I don't know why Eldegoss ulted here, but interesting. So you can see the power of Hyper Beam right there, or beforehand rather. You can see I did like half of 3 people's health bars, which is absolutely insane. That one ended up missing, but I mean, that's also the downside of Hyper Beam. They're on the jump pad like that, or not the jump pad, the speed zone like that. It's pretty hard to actually hit Hyper Beams. So I end up using ults. I get pretty low here. I end up getting out. It's not too big of a deal. So once again, our only worry right now is that they coin flip Zapdos. We don't have any ults anymore, which is pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure they use all of theirs as well. So we just need to stop them from doing that. So I ignore my pads because if they go to score, or I should be ignoring my pads rather. Am I bad? No, I'm not. I'm farming my own. All right. I ignore my goals or whatever because if they go to score, it's not actually going to win the game given how much we score or how much we have scored. So just sitting over here by the Zapdos is the play. But they all end up dying, so there's not really much I do. So I just feel like sending my damage on the Zapdos. Look how much damage Hyper Beam does the Zapdos here. That's not balanced. If you guys want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments down below. The like button, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I can do more stuff like this in the future. And until next time, take care.